Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Loose Balls podcast. I am your
Back
host,
at
Chris,
it.
and I'm here with
Eh,
my co host, Eli. And you
Yes,
know
of
what time it
course.
is. It's time to
Bringing
talk
nothing but spicy
football.
takes. Yeah, buddy.
Exactly. Keeping it live on Twitter, out there
hmm
calling it like it is, not feeling sorry for anybody.
Yeah, dude. That's how you get that attention. That's how you get those clicks nowadays on Twitter or formerly Twitter, now known as
Now, X.
X. Yes.
Exactly. Check us out on, you're here at Spotify, so there's not much more to check out, but we're on Twitter,
Yeah.
TikTok. I don't know. Find us on social media. We're going to be somewhere. So let's see. So jumping into it, looking at the games from last week, we are now at a running total of 21-20. We went
Okay.
8-6 last week, so we're now back in a winning record.
Nice.
Would have been 9-5 had Monday night's game gone our way, but
Mm, I
sometimes
know.
it's nice to watch them fall short.
Exactly, dude. Oh my goodness. I was even remembering us doing those pick'ems. I was like, as much as I want to say my Ravens, gosh. But still being said, like 49ers are still a scary team. Even with all the drops that Purdy had this last game, this is not out of character for him either. I don't know why everyone's like putting him into contention for losing his MVP. Even if he does have a game like this, it's not going to affect anything at the end of the day. 49ers are still going to be a dominant team, and we're going to go over that.
Yeah, and to be fair, he shouldn't have been in the running for MVP in the first place, but
Yeah.
that's not our choice. We don't get a say in that. The other people get a say in that.
Nope.
However, and as much as we dislike Brock Purdy on the Niners, it's not that we want him to fail. It's just
Mhm.
nice to have someone to hate, and that happens to be the best team in football. And
True.
yeah, so
That being said, there has been a long-standing beef for the Battle of the Bay between Raiders and Niners, so I'm always going to have
absolutely.
that little competitive edge on that edge.
And that's fair. Like that's true. And I grew up in that area as well. And I just got sick of hearing about the Niners. And so
True.
we do have some bias, but we both can realize that team is probably one of the best put together teams in the NFL right now.
Oh, no doubt. Even then, that being said, this league is so bad that how they are even performing right now, on a normal season, that they would still be a top 8 team, not number 1.
Right. They would have more competition, but yeah, it's
Mhm.
just a bad season right now. So just kind of want to start with some takeaways from that week, things that we saw.
Things that we saw.
I would like to say one thing before we get too far into it. That
Yeah.
son of a bitch, Mike Tomlin did it again. He did it
Mhm.
again, and all it took was
Mhm.
benching Mitch Trubisky and going with Mason Rudolph.
You're right. You're right,
And
dude.
they did it in a royal fashion. George Pickens heard the
Mhm.
haters, stepped up, 4 receptions for 195 yards. That's insane.
Yep.
And that puts
Keeping them
them,
at an above 500 team.
I think so. I think they're 8-7 now going into the
Mhm.
last week. So they can't. Well,
Can't lose
no,
it.
I guess they have to win one more because you can't
Do
have an
they?
8-8 season anymore because it's 17 games. No, that would be 16.
Uh,
Yeah. No.
yeah.
This is going into the last week. They get they're gonna at worst go 8-8. So
Yeah.
congrats. You
Yeah.
did it
Congrats.
again. When you get
True,
let
dude.
go here in the next season or two, you get to hang your hat on the fact that, man, I was never had a losing season.
True. When do you think the coach steps down?
I don't think he ever steps down. I think he gets fired. I think
You think so?
I think so. I
He's had
think
such a long and successful career, in my
it's
opinion.
him and he falls in that category of like Belichick and John Harbaugh.
I think he fits more of like the Pete Carroll groove.
Oh, and Pete Carroll. Can't forget Pete Carroll. Like just long-standing
Yeah.
coaches, they will
Mm-hmm.
eventually step away, but
Mm-hmm.
they sometimes hold on for one season too many and get escorted out the door on their step down because no one really wants to fire a long-standing coach like this because it looks bad. But
Yeah.
Robert Kraft is definitely going to sit down with Bill Belichick at the end of this season and go,
Oh yeah.
"Hey, we need to talk. Maybe it's time."
100%. Yeah. This being said, they did win this last week, right?
Right? They beat the Bengals 31 to like 7.
Nuts, dude.
Yeah, it was nuts. So that one was a big takeaway. Dolphins beat a team over 500. I can't say that
Yeah,
I'm so
dude.
ecstatic. It doesn't make me feel great that it's the Cowboys, but
True.
I am okay with the fact that we have now beaten a over 500 team, which shows that we
Yes.
can actually do it. That the offense isn't just really good at beating up bad teams.
Yeah, that's true.
And we did it with Jalen Waddle getting hurt.
Yes.
So
Tyreek Hill out most of those touches as well.
yeah, so the team has depth and the team's offense works. That's what it comes down to. And we ran the ball against a team that sucks against the run. And there were
True.
some questionable calls in our favor or no calls in our favor against the Cowboys players that we got away with. Micah
Yeah,
Parsons has been pretty vocal about that.
yeah, that is true.
But at the same time, don't care. Beat a team over 500. Stay mad.
Exactly.
I think that was another big takeaway.
Hmm.
Was there any other? I think the Ravens beating the Niners was probably a big one.
More or less. I don't feel like a lot of people are talking about it, but that's just because it's the first seed on AFC and NFC.
That's true.
Seahawks won this week against. They won against the Titans, but it was a real narrow. It was a real narrow victory, which is not really something you want to see, especially with how the Titans have been performing. I believe Titan RB2 was also out this game.
And so was their quarterback. Will Levis didn't play, so they either went to
Yes.
Mike, or I can't remember his name right now. Oh my goodness. They went with the third stringer Ryan Tannehill again. So
Yeah. Okay. So that was another close matchup that felt pretty uncomfy. Another game that I would throw in that category would be the Packers-Panthers game. Like these are teams that should not be doing this well against these other teams.
that's true. And if you want to talk about another one, you've got Bills Chargers. Chargers are a limp dog, and they took the Bills to the
Yeah,
distance to make it 22-24. So
that is very true. And a lot of people have been hyping up the Bills, including, but not limited to, myself.
yeah,
Bills,
yeah.
like I said, like all this being encapsulated, Josh Allen, I'm still saying, is putting up an MVP season. Regardless of all the things that have been happening in the background, he has still been performing, in my opinion.
Yeah. He's doing what he always does, which is big yards, but a lot of turnovers. That's nothing new. It almost got him to an MVP a couple different times. I don't see why this year's any different, especially with the month that he's having.
True.
So,
True.
another game, and I'm surprised that you haven't brought it up. We had a
I know.
pretty big upset.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to circle around to that one. The good old Raiders Kansas City game. True. It was like the perfect, gift wrap present I could have gotten on Christmas, waking up in the morning, seeing the first game, getting my, espresso ready, sitting down, getting locked in, and starting it off hot with 2 pick sixes, I believe it was. One was an interception, the other one was a pick six.
Yeah, that's what it
Beautiful.
looks like. Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful start to the game. And they kept that energy throughout the entire rest of the set. This all being said, Kansas City has never looked this bad in their entire 8-year span of their dynasty.
That's true.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know if this speaks to the formula they have, if it's getting stale or getting old, something's got to give over there. And if they're looking for new team leadership or something like that, now would be kind of the time to start shopping around for that.
Shout out the DB for the Raiders faking that handoff to the child after making the pick six. That was
True.
the most insane thing because it's like, oh yeah, it's Christmas. Here, psych, you're wearing Chiefs gear. Takes off. Oh man. The Raiders were feeling it. It was a good day for Raider Nation out there.
Big time. Also, that trick play they had for the extra 2 points, a missed hike to a run in from the fullback.
It's pretty
beautiful, beautiful play. Another fake play that was brought up earlier that game was a pass from the punter on Kansas City, which did work, but that was about the only good thing that happened that entire game. That all being said, they missed a field goal, I want to say 5 minutes after that. It was beautiful. It was a fantastic game.
Yeah. And it looks like, just looking at everybody's games going through this, they all lined up how they should have. minus those few upset pieces. A couple of them were close that we picked wrong, but those were also the ones we could have flipped a coin for and said, this is what it is. So we have something a little bit different for you guys today. Eli and I yesterday after the games went through and we each made an NFL power rankings list and we're comparing it to the NFL's to see where we land.
Yes.
Starting off at number 1, the NFL and I agreed. And Eli, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having these guys at 1 and 2. Is I have the Ravens at 1, especially after beating the Niners. This is now at this point, the Ravens, as of this week, for power rankings, are the best team in the NFL.
Wow, dude. See, I did not. I still went with Niners in this case. I still think the team cohesion that they have is still going to be better postseason. And just this little hiccup they have here with the Ravens, I don't think tarnishes the record that much, even though it was that big of a blowout.
It was, and I don't disagree with your statement, but if we're basing this off of last week's games as our power rankings, it's the Ravens for me.
See, I'm looking more towards the future here. Like, how are they going to be lining up the next game and the game after that and the game after that, you know?
And the plus side is that looking at the future, both the Niners and the Ravens have younger teams. Ravens are getting back. Ravens are doing this sans Mark Andrews and sans Dobbins. Yeah, it's Dobbins.
Yeah.
This is an impressive team that they've put together, and it's well coached. I like John Harbaugh. He's had a pretty successful coaching tree with him. So, I mean,
he was former coach for the Niners, right?
No. That's his brother.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, they faced each other in the Super Bowl, and that was the big thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Who am I mixing up the brothers now? Now you've got me questioning myself.
It's the one that has the narrow face is the 49ers coach.
Oh, that's Shanahan.
Okay.
You're mixing up. No, I have it right. It's John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh is the coach of the Ravens. I thought so.
He was the one that later went to Michigan, right?
Nope, you're mixing him up again. The one from the Niners went to Michigan.
Ah, okay.
Which is it? No, it might be Jim Harbaugh.
Wait, isn't that who we were just talking about?
No, John Harbaugh.
Oh, then it's Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh was the one who went to Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh man, made me question myself there for a second if I had the right coach. It's hard when you have brothers with success, right? Like
true, yeah, jeez.
Ravens at 1, which means you and I are flipped. You have the Niners at 1. I have the Niners at 2. NFL has the Niners at 2.
Yes.
All right.
Let's see. 3. What's 3?
We're seeing some discrepancies here. I've got.
Ooh, yeah.
You have them. You have them boys.
Fine. I have them boys. I still have them boys at 3. I still think, me personally, they are a better all-around team than the next 3 that I have listed, which is Lions, Dolphins, Bills.
Don't care. You know? Dolphins beat them. They beat a team over 500. They were floating around in the top 5 the other day.
Hey, you know, I mean, I don't think the Dolphins are good and all, you know, but they still show too much greenness in a lot of their scheme.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's enough for me to say that they are top 3 right now.
Yeah, Cowboys are on a pretty bad skid. That's all it really is. I mean, it's nice to be able to put the Dolphins here, but I can fully see it be the Cowboys or a different team here soon. It might even be the Eagles coming back.
Maybe.
NFL agrees. They said the Dolphins. Fine.
Nice.
Like, I don't think they're a top 5 team. I mean, within the top 5, you could plug and place these guys pretty much anywhere except maybe the Eagles and be like, yep, this is right. And everybody goes, okay.
Yeah, where did you end up putting them? Okay. I put them a little further down than both of your guys' listings.
Number 4, you and I both put the Lions.
Yep.
NFL put the Eagles. Again, I don't hate that spot for the Eagles, but
I don't know. Eagles have been on they have been on such a terrible streak. And like after watching their last game here, it's not a good scene going on over here with the Eagles. They need to nurse their injuries, pick themselves back up, and then put themselves back on top because as of right now, they're just not there.
No, they need to figure it out. And I think the Lions are winning their division. I think they have a pretty similar record right now to the Eagles.
Yeah.
They just look better. Of course, same thing that we've talked about with other teams with young players. They do have their inexperiences that the Eagles have playoff experience. So we're going to see that come into effect when they go into the playoffs.
True.
But it doesn't matter. At this point, if we're talking power rankings going into the last week of football, the Lions are the better team than the Eagles in the regular season.
Yep. Completely agree.
5, we have 3 different spots. So.
Oh, okay. This is where the Fins finally get put back up there.
Yeah.
Like, this all being said, I like the Lions as a team better than I like the Dolphins. Just because, Goff has, I would say, a more stable look and pass game. Tua, he gets to depend on his coaches and his play calls, which is totally fine and all. But Goff's out there, actually slinging that ball. You know what I'm saying? He has young talent around him that he's taking advantage of and running really well with. This is what, puts the Dolphins in that 5 range, Top 5 team, no doubt. Big contenders for taking that ring. I mean, top 5 is top 5. They're good, dude.
Eagles are a 5 here for me because I couldn't argue with myself enough to put them any place above the teams above them.
Yeah.
And I do think that they're better than every other team on this list. I think they are also in a bit of a rough skid, but with playoff experience, with a coach who has playoff experience, I think they'll be fine. And I think that puts them in a better spot than most of these teams above. I mean, Ravens have some, Niners have some. No, Niners have quite a bit with Shanahan, but the actual players, they didn't make the Super Bowl. They made the championship, or did they not? They didn't even make the championship. No, because the Cowboys made the championship.
Yeah.
So they've got more than the Dolphins. McDaniels has experience as an offensive coordinator coaching in the playoffs, but I think he's it besides Mostert.
Yeah.
Lions have none. And I'm sure they have some, but they don't have any like major starting players outside of Goff who have experience because they're younger.
True.
So I think experience-wise, the Eagles are in first place, but we're talking power ranking.
That's true.
The 4 teams above them have all performed well. The NFL has the Lions. See, like our previous arguments, it's not a bad thing for them to be.
Yeah.
You and I are going to have issues with this next spot because I see who you have.
Yeah, buddy.
So why don't you go ahead and start?
Man, I'm telling you why it's the Bills here and now. Okay? Like I said, Josh Allen putting up an MVP season. Okay? But Bills obviously had a very slow start to the season. They're now gaining momentum. I think we are going to see a little bit more and more of a lethal team going forward in these next few weeks.
I guess.
Even more so than my number 7 spot, the Eagles. Even more.
And, okay, so my question for you is that we have been ragging on the Chiefs for the past couple weeks about how they're not getting Patrick Mahomes any support.
True. Honestly,
and we're dropping them because of that.
I am shocked they're not top 5 right now.
My question for you is when are we going to hold the Bills to the same thing? They're not doing Josh Allen any favors. It's Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
Name another receiver on that team.
I don't think I could do that for you there.
But I can give you a couple.
I can actually give you 2 of them as well. Josh Allen's right leg and Josh Allen's left leg. Who needs them receivers? He can run that ball.
But that's my point, is that Josh Allen is doing this Herculean effort for a team that arguably does not deserve to be in the top 10, and in most leagues would not be in the top 10, but because this league is struggling right now, they get to sneak in there.
They get to sneak in there, exactly,
So, besides Stephon Diggs, you have Gabe Davis, who is either going to put up 0 yards or is going to catch 300 yards on 3 catches. You have Dalton Kincaid, who's replacing Dawson Knox.
Dawson Knox. Oh, yeah, he's out.
They're both decent tight ends, but again, they're streaky at best.
Streaky at best, yeah.
Up until you started letting James Cook run the ball, your receiving backs and your running back committee as a whole was churning out not much. That's great that you guys are on a win streak now and you clinched the playoff spot, but I think you shot yourself in the foot. I really do. You need something, whether it's free agency or the draft. The defense is the defense is a paper tiger at this point because of injuries. So I'm not
Yeah.
faulting your defense for like letting you guys down. You're down, I think, both middle linebackers and a safety.
Mm-hmm.
And Von Miller hasn't come back yet. So I'll give your defense a pass, but your offense, that's inexcusable. There's not injuries. Get him some help.
They need it. That is true.
Sorry, that's my spiel about the Bills and why I don't think they deserve to be in 6. For me at 6, we all agreed on the 6 spot. I thought we had it different. Okay. Or the NFL and I did it. It's the Cowboys.
Okay, nice.
I have them here solely for the fact that they're on a skid right now. Dak Prescott, I don't like this, but Dak Prescott looks good.
Yeah.
Had he beaten the Dolphins, the conversation is Dak Prescott the MVP this season?
Watching that game, Dak has sizably upscaled his reliability in the pocket and game awareness.
Right.
I don't know what has changed about that. He's holding on to the ball when he gets sacked. He's more careful with his players and his throws. He's more calm, cool, and collected, and I think he's pretty scary going into the postseason here.
He made the jump that he needed to make. And I know this isn't the case, but it would be really great if he thought he was untradeable or untouchable, and then they watched them cut Zeke and was like, oh shit, that could be me.
Mm-hmm.
Or Cooper Rush right there breathing down his neck to take his job.
That's too good.
I think he's just made that jump, and it might be just rose-colored glasses because of the rest of the quarterbacks in the league. Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Brock Purdy is the top 5 for competing for MVP right now that are quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Non-quarterback players are Tyreek, CMC, and I mean, I guess you could argue either George Kittle or Travis Kelce. They're both as tight ends about to reach 1,000-yard seasons, which is pretty impressive.
True.
And then after that, it's Tua just right on the cusp as a quarterback to sneak in and take it. I've seen arguments for Baker Mayfield. That's great. He's had an outstanding month. It's got to be consistent.
Yeah, big time.
Okay, sorry. And you said 7 was the Eagles for you.
Yep, already says that. Yeah, 7 Eagles. You know,
we all disagree at this spot.
They're looking really rough right now. Not to say that they can't bounce back. You know, they're just they're in a tough spot right now.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't think it looks necessarily the best for them, but I think settle down. It'll be fine.
Should we dive in? What's your 7?
I'm looking at it. I'm just processing how I want to talk about this.
Yeah, I wonder. You're the one putting them the highest, I believe, on everyone's list.
I know. Well, and then I just can't see a team below them that looked better as a defense, like as a team as a whole. They went out and whole-handedly won. And I hate that it's behind Joe Flacco. I hate it so much that at number 7 I have the Browns. But I would also like to use this as a point, as an argument to say that this team is so well put together right now that anybody can quarterback this team except for Dorian Thompson-Robinson. You get you a half-decent quarterback, we'll do just fine.
This is true.
And I will put respect on Joe Flacco's career, but I still watched him play, and while the team looked good, he did not. He looked lost. It really helps when you have players like Amari Cooper that are taking passes for 57 yards and 75 yards, because then you can do the check down stuff. You don't have to arm punt. You don't have to make these daring plays. You guys won. It looked good. I don't have anything otherwise negative to say. It was a well put together team. I just can't believe that it's behind Joe Flacco. I can't believe that I had to start Joe Flacco in fantasy this week.
We could talk about that in the end. We could talk about that in the end.
I don't want to talk about it in the end. I just wanted to air it out that I did it, and I am eating my words about how much. Like, understand that it pained me to do this, but I was in a rock and a hard place, and he was available. Number 7.
5 other QBs on your bench.
Well, they're all hurt. If they could stay healthy, it wouldn't matter.
That's true.
7 is the Bills for the NFL. That's fine.
Nice. There you go.
I think I also have the Bills the lowest.
So that's close to mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. One like exchange. Okay.
8. We are all different again. So I can start this time. I put the Rams here.
Nice.
I don't hate anything that they've got going on. They have a pretty good team put together. They're
Mhm.
winning. I just don't have
Yeah.
an extra piece to say about it. Like, arguably, they have won more games and have a better.
Yeah.
Like, they are now looking at making it into the
You know,
playoffs.
I'm gonna make a revision to mine because now I'm looking at mine. Mine's pretty nuts. I'm gonna have to agree with you that it's Rams. I'm gonna be dropping my current number 8 down to my I want to say 11.
Okay, I'll let you make those changes. That's fine. So
Yeah.
Rams at 8,
Yep.
and the NFL has the Browns at 8.
Hmm.
You don't have the Browns till further on. It seems like that me and everybody that watched that game agree that the team looked well put together. No, you don't have it too far. I think it's 7, 8, 9. Looks pretty close. So
Yeah.
sucks when you guys lose in the first round or the second. It just doesn't
Hmm.
look good for you guys here in the future, and I feel bad because the team worked its butt off to get here, and this is where we're at.
It's true. Oh wow, yeah. Are you going over what the NFL's 8th one was?
Yeah, the 8th one, they put it at they put the Browns.
Yep.
So we went Rams, they
Yeah.
went Browns.
Yep.
I don't hate that. I think it's crazy. So one
They're
piece here,
very.
everybody else has been within like 1 or 2. The difference for me is the Bills is 2 spots, and but the Rams, the NFL has them at 11, which
Mm, okay.
disagreeing.
This,
This is I think where we start to see some separation in
I
the
think.
list.
I think our 8, 9, and 10 are all pretty interchangeable, except for yours. The Bills is pretty nuts. But all of these teams here are pretty interchangeable, at least on my list. Like 8 could beat 9, 9 could beat 8, 9 could beat 10, 10 could beat 9. It's these teams are so extremely similar at this level.
I fully disagree that my 9 could beat anybody below them. So let's hold on here. And the way that the Steelers look this week, I don't know if they beat them either.
Oh, geez.
So my 9, so we can move on here. My 9
Yeah.
is the Bills.
Yeah.
I brought them up to what I thought was a fair point. I think I could switch them and the Rams and be fine. Maybe even the Browns. So that puts them at
Okay.
7. That's not too far. That's where the NFL has them.
Yeah.
But they're also in my division, and I hate them. So they're going to stay at 9 for no other reason other than the fact
There
of what
you
I've talked
go.
about before, that we really should be holding
Oh
the
yeah, you
GM
probably
accountable for the lack
hate
of
my
receivers.
list then. Dolphins at 5, Bills at 6.
No, we've always been hand in hand with them in our division because it's
Hmm.
always been Patriots, Jets, Dolphins, or Patriots, not Jets, Dolphins, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots,
Hmm.
Dolphins, Bills. So I don't hate that they're that close. It's just me looking at my list. I watch them with a very scrutinizing lens, and
Hmm.
I put them at 9. But I also
Okay.
then watch the teams above them not as tightly. So
Yeah.
you have the Browns at 9. So
Yes. Hmm. Yeah, Browns, all being said, everyone else did put them a little higher. They still only beat the Bears by 3 points. I think that's my point. They're a pretty well-rounded team, but if you're not curb stomping someone that is in the bottom 20 and being in top 10, I think there's something to be said for that.
I don't disagree with your claims. I just think looking at this league that anybody really, as we're going down this list, we've made this comment a couple times. Anybody top 10 and down could be interchangeable given the week.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Eagles. They lost the Jets this year. I'm going to be
Yeah.
bringing that up every single
Bills
podcast.
also lost to the Jets this year.
I forgot about that.
Jets have a handful of wins, and they're pretty good teams, which is insane.
Hmm.
And then the NFL, looking at it, has the Chiefs at 9. We do not have the Chiefs anywhere close to this.
Terrible take.
It is because they lost to the Raiders, and I no
Yeah.
disrespect to Raiders fans or you, Eli, but the Raiders
Yeah.
have not been in
No,
the same class as the Chiefs for a couple years now.
I agree. I think I put the Raiders lowest out of everyone on their list. They still lost to them, which is
Exactly.
so yeah, something that explains my placement for the Chiefs.
Right, and we've talked about it in previous episodes that they're going to fall pretty fast. The fact that they're still at 9 is insane to me. They didn't
They
look
looked
good.
very bad against a not good team.
So why are we hand holding them through this, being like, it's okay, it'll get better? No one is it. Is it at this point that we're just saying that, yeah, we have to hold their hand through this because Patty Mahomes is the face of the NFL, and you can't have the face of the NFL on a bad team?
I think so, honestly.
You lose games like this to the Raiders. They lost last week to the Bills. At what point do we say time to start going down a couple spots? And maybe it's just because teams below them didn't do well.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at their list, they've got a couple teams we have above them, well below them.
Yeah.
So
big time.
So let's get into it. Number 10.
Okay.
You and I agree.
Okay. Nice. Yeah.
Steelers. I don't know how we did it. 500
dude,
again.
I mean, they're floating. They're in the middle, just doing their thing.
Defense
does win championships. Are looking solid as ever.
Instead of talking about what we like about the Steelers, just like because George Pickens carried that team this week, great. The running game looked fine. Do you think this is the last time we've seen Mitch Trubisky be a starter, period?
Yeah.
Like, he's looked bad. And then he got benched, and they've said Mason Rudolph was the starter for this week. He wins. He's going to be the starter for next week. Even further, is this the last time we see Mitch Trubisky in the league?
I don't think it's the last we see him in the league. I think the league is starving for backup QBs right now. We're going to see a lot of QB movement in this offseason.
Then, do you think it's the last time we see him on the Steelers?
I think it's the last time we see him on the Steelers, yeah.
Okay. 10 for the NFL is the Bucks.
Okay, I like that.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't hate that either. I didn't put them that high.
I could see that agreement. I didn't either. We have them just down a couple spots. We're close to where they're at.
Yeah.
I just don't. Baker Mayfield's look great. Mike Evans is great. Rashad White's great. The defense looks solid.
Does the defense look solid?
It does look solid. Is it? And it just comes down to, is this a situation where the team's finally clicking? We get to see Baker Mayfield do better. Is this a Bucks resurgence? Because if so, I'm excited for it. I don't hate that we could be getting a Bucks resurgence. I just don't know if that's the case.
Yeah,
I think the AFC South is a joke.
Yeah, I don't really think.
No, that's not the AFC South. That's the NFC South.
Yeah, NFC South. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing a comeback. I'm going to keep it a stack. They're in the same league as the Saints, right?
Yeah. Same division.
Yeah, sure they might go to the championship, but
you think they get to a AFC or an NFC championship?
Maybe. It's possible.
Save that one for a hot take. That's a spicy boy right there.
Yeah, dude. Let's jump into number 12.
11. We're on 11.
Oh, yes. My number 11, staying with the tried and true, the exciting yet very hurt team, the Texans. I'm trying to preserve their stock up here. Somebody's got to root for them. Why not me? I'm just going to keep them here as a little, pocket warmer. Soon as the team gets healthy, I think we get back on the right track.
I saw that CJ Stroud's been out for a couple weeks, and I went, man, you don't have the Rookie of the Year right now playing for you? Then perish in my power rankings.
Yes, this is true.
My 11 is the Seahawks.
Nice.
Without Geno Smith, with a Drew Lock starter, they won this week. Which, did we pick them?
We did. They won against the Tennessee Titans.
That's right.
They won. Which, it was close. So, we're just going to keep them here. Close. We're just going to be quiet about it because, I don't think there's too much.
I think this is around where they should have been last week, too.
Yeah.
They're winning games. It's ugly wins, but they're winning. They're doing just enough to stay relevant in that playoff hunt. So
yeah, I think I did not put the Seahawks to the lowest.
Okay. No, 11 for the NFL is the Rams. We had the Rams 3 spots higher because
I think
of how they've been playing.
Yeah, I think the Rams do better than the Browns. I think the Rams do better than the Steelers, and I think the Rams do better than the Seahawks.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think this is some bias based on a couple weeks, not just based on how this last week looked. So number 12, This is where I put the Bucks. The NFL
Oh,
had them at
yes.
10.
Mhm.
I put them here.
Nice.
I'm a Baker Mayfield fan. I'm glad that he's doing well.
Yeah.
I don't hate how this team looks.
hmm
If they can keep winning, I think they're going to move up the list because they're fighting for the spot with a couple teams that aren't doing the best.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
True. I'm going to have to justify my 12 here. Okay. My
Uh-huh.
12 here is the Bengals. You know, after a loss to the Patriots, I know it's tough. Hang in there, Bengals fans. But I think this is just an off week. I think this is an off week. They've been looking pretty good the weeks before. T. Higgins has really, just been taking that ball, bringing it in, finding the end zone. And I think there's going to be some more of that in the future. So that explains my 12th spot here.
Fair. I agree with your statement. They don't have Joe Burrow, then perish in the power rankings.
Hey, oh.
I also think Jamar Chase got banged up, so
He got
it
banged up
just doesn't
the
look
week
great
before as well, though. You know.
Yeah. So this is a limp team going into the playoffs. I have them by far the lowest.
I mean,
can already see
look at me
it.
go. I have Texans above them, so come on. We love our
Well-
love our hurt teams.
Because the Texans are coming. I mean, at least CJ Stroud's coming back.
True. We love our hurt teams, except for the Eagles. They stay hurt. You know.
They stay hurt.
Yeah, they stay hurt.
Well, and I mean, you were only one spot away from the NFL. The NFL has the Texans at 12. Again, I don't hate this spot, but if we're being realistic, they're not. they're not a top 15 team right
Whoa, not a top 15 team.
now. No. I have them at 15. I don't think they're better than that. I think they're better than they're slightly better than half the league.
I don't know, dude. I think Texans are better than the Chiefs. I think Texans are better than the Jags.
I mean, we know that. That's why you put them on the
I will
list.
say I think Texans are better than the Steelers.
I would like to give, in this moment, though, talking about the Texans, because they played the Browns, a huge shout out to Dustin Hopkins for absolutely pulling a hammy trying to catch Dameon Pierce.
Yeah.
That was great. Let me tell you, that was great having you in fantasy and have you do that.
Yeah.
Hope you got him, but I don't think you did. He scored.
Yeah.
So, good effort.
True.
Good effort.
True.
13 for me is the Jags.
Nice.
Can we get the hurt team stay hurt?
True.
They're going to fall fast.
They are gonna fall
Trevor Lawrence left the game. No. He played it out.
Did he play it out?
Who am I missing? Zay Jones was
Yes.
out. So it was Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram, Travis Etienne, and they were playing catch up the entire time. Just the hurt team stay hurt. I can only let this slide one time. If you can't play well
True.
next week without Christian Kirk, then perish in the power rankings.
Exactly, dude. That's exactly right.
So the NFL agreed with me with Jaguars at 13.
Nice.
This is where you have the Bucks.
Yep, this is where I have the Bucks.
Don't hate it.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair spot. You could make the same argument for why they're at 12.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Exactly.
All right. 14, we all disagree. And I think we're going to start to disagree pretty quick. One other. I think we have one other lineup from here, but I think we start to disagree pretty quick going on. So why don't you start with your 14?
My 14 here, putting in the Jordan Love Packers. I think this is just a really middle of the pack team. You know, they're going to win 50% of their games, and it's just not going to look the most professional. Like this is a good snapshot of the league right here. They're extremely middle of the pack, extremely mid. If I do say so myself, I think they lose to every team above them, and I think they win most of the teams below them.
I might catch flack for this one, but 14 is where I have the Chiefs, and honestly, I think they could go lower.
So does everyone else on these listings, or except for
the NFL itself.
Yeah, except for the NFL itself.
Perish in the power ranking.
Oh yeah,
is what we're gonna stick to. This is the theme.
Big time.
They don't look good.
No. terrible.
I think this is a good time to take a look at the character of what Patty Mahomes is,
Yeah.
because he's lost his cool in both games.
Yep.
That's signs of someone that's ready to walk. Someone that's starting to go like, I'm passionate about this game, I'm passionate about this team, but if no one gives a care,
Yeah, I see that.
that's it.
I don't know if it's necessarily getting to about that level yet. Sure, it shows lack of faith in the foundation, but I don't know. You know, it's
I think
they're just bad.
we get this off season, and if nothing changes halfway through next season, the rumors start to spread of discontent.
True,
Because
I can see that.
you can say they probably sat him down and told him this is going to work.
Mm-hmm.
It worked last time when we let Tyreek go. This is going to be fine. We're going to let players leave. We're going to draft well. We've brought in some talent that we think we can build from the ground up, and it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and find a way to just pay talent to come in. And so
True.
we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
NFL has the Bengals at 14.
Mm-hmm. Not bad.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not bad. Right now they're playing right at the middle. It's the duality of the Bengals.
Yeah.
You have a team that could go out and look awful against the Steelers, or you could have a game where your backup quarterback throws for 350 yards.
True.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Against his former team. So great. Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
Yeah.
15 is all different for us.
Yep, my 15 was the Seahawks finally. You know, I think they haven't really been doing too hot these last few weeks. Sure, they've squeaked out some wins here and there, but nothing that I have my expectations set for the Seahawks.
They should be doing better, but they're not.
Yep.
Injury bug is a pain.
Mm-hmm.
You're hurt, perish in the power rankings.
Exactly.
15 is where I have the Texans. This is the lowest that they are on this list, on anybody's list from this week. I just don't see it. I don't see it with Tank Dell being out that this team gets better.
Yeah.
Even with CJ Stroud coming back, they're going to win games.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to beat teams below them, and they might make it close with teams above them.
Mm-hmm.
But this, again, is still in the rebuild phase. So you're allowed to swing wildly from top to bottom as things start to balance out, because teams start to figure out their identities, and the teams that aren't rebuilding get it together for playoffs.
That is true.
So that's fine. 15's the Colts.
Nice.
For the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is... I
think that's the highest
they lost.
Anyone has Colts.
It's the highest, but the problem is that I ran into, and I don't know if you ran into this when making this list, kind of from here on out, the mediocrity gets thick.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at it and it's like, well, this team is better, but this team won and they're looking better.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're both 6 and 8.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Like,
that's true. Happens a lot especially in the middle ground here. Yeah. I think the middle ground is like where the most topsy-turvy action you'll see. I have some pretty spicy action at the very end, though, that we'll see if we...
No, it's not that spicy.
I mean, I think it's pretty spicy.
Well, yeah. So, moving on to 17, you and I agreed. It's the Broncos.
Nice. Wait.
Right in the middle.
Let's get my 16. 16, I went Colts.
Oh, yeah, we did. I'm sorry. You're right.
16, I went Colts. Kind of agree with the NFL in this kind of zone right here. They fit in this, 15, 16 range. Same argument that we were saying earlier, though. Just teams running into a whole bunch of muck, injury bug, whole nine. 17?
Yeah, 16. Yep. No, oh, well, sorry. We've missed the whole 16 row. I apologize. We went from 15 to 17. 16 for me is the Packers.
Ah, there you go.
They probably could be higher.
Nice.
The NFL rankings is putting zero respect on the name of this team that's actually looking decent right now.
Yeah, dude.
So
that's what I'm saying.
And
wait, the NFL hasn't even said the Packers yet? Sheesh. Yeah, sure enough.
So, and they're drafting well. They've got a young team.
Yeah, dude.
The system seems to be working for Jordan Love. So
Hmm.
why not? I
Yep.
think they might even get higher from here. But right now, 16 is pretty fair
Yep.
because it's right in the
Yep.
middle. There's 50% of the teams that they're better than, 50% that they're worse than.
True.
So, and then
That could be the exact same conversation for our next pick here.
which is the Seahawks.
Uh
Is that 16 for the NFL is the Seahawks.
oh,
You
really?
have them at 15.
Okay.
Argument's fine. I think they're too low for both of you guys because I have them at 11, but
Yeah.
I see your arguments for other teams
Yeah.
in that spot.
Yeah.
So now we're on to 17.
Yep.
You and I agreed that it's the Broncos.
Yep.
The hate that the NFL gave to the Broncos is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might have lost this week, but they have looked way better than teams below them, and
Mhm.
they still have their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
And they have Sean Payton as a coach.
Yeah.
So, what are we talking about here? I think
Exactly.
17 is a fine place. They haven't clicked. They look good though. They're gonna hit that piece, and it's gonna click.
Hmm.
That's what it is.
Yep.
All right. I thought I had a spicy take. 18 is gonna get you a lot of hate here. So why don't you go
Yeah,
ahead and
buddy.
start?
I'm just gonna start it off right now. 18 is Chiefs. I'm putting them way down here because there is no way in hell they could be above someone else in their division. So had Broncos at 17, Chiefs at 18. I want to say every single team that I have listed already above them will beat the Chiefs right now if they played against each other. All
That's
those
wild.
teams will beat them.
I'm not saying
I'm saying
I disagree,
Broncos beat Chiefs. I
but
say Colts beat Chiefs. Seahawks beat Chiefs. Packers beat Chiefs. All those teams beat Chiefs right now.
all right. Okay. And they might. The team looks bad.
Team looks terrible.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Team looks terrible.
That's just wild to make that claim. Like you could say it. You could have said Chiefs are 18 because they look bad, but they might bounce back against these teams. That's wild with confidence to stand up here and go, nah.
No.
The 17 before this,
smoking them. Yeah, 100%.
All right,
100%. Then they start proving themselves.
18. Yeah, 18. I have the Colts.
Okay.
If you're hurt, perish in the power
Yep.
rankings.
Yep. It's kind of.
I'm sorry.
Kind of where that falls.
You got some of your guys back. That's great. You still lost.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew looks fine. Doesn't matter. Still lost.
True.
And lost handily. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
I agree.
That's why you're here.
Yeah.
18 for the NFL
yeah.
is the Vikings.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. I think
they don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, they don't have a quarterback. That's close to mine, I think.
Yeah, it's close to both of ours.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna go with 19. You don't have a 19.
Oh wait, here, let me number it. I think I numbered it wrong. So 19, I have Vikings here. You know, not too far off from where the NFL is placing them. They're just really hurt right now. You know, no starting QB, star players hit or miss right now. Kind of injured, kind of not. Other rookie just got injured. You know, they're in a tough spot, but I think with a little bit of elbow grease, they could definitely make their way up in the ranking as well.
I don't disagree. Yeah. The team looked okay, even though they lost. So I had the Raiders
nice
at 19, and I think that's solely because they have now. I mean, they spanked the Chargers, and that should have brought them up a little bit. Beating the Chiefs in back-to-back weeks shows that it wasn't just a one-off. This is a team now that's finding its identity. And for the love of God, please don't fire your interim coach and hire someone else.
Yeah.
You did it once and it didn't work. You have one that's winning, that's inspired the locker room. Give him a shot. What's the worst that happens? He does exactly what I
agree with that.
McDaniels did.
Like just give him the chance. You know, give him one more year, see what he does, see what his actual record is. Don't roll the dice with some crappy coach that you know didn't work out in some other system and has to set up a whole new one. He works for what we have right now. Start getting some players together for a scheme that does sound good, that would work for the foundation. You know?
Yeah.
Brand new team in Las Vegas. They still got to find their identity there. They have not found it yet. It's not speed. Dolphins already stole that one.
Well,
chill.
On the field.
Chris, it's Derek Carr that does that. Chris Olave just got the same thing.
It's Derek Carr. That's fair. 19 for the NFL is the Packers.
Okay, nice.
I think it's a little bit of disrespect on them.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
That's why we decided to make this list, because the NFL be wildin' sometimes.
100%.
Packers look better than every team above them.
Yeah.
Up to wherever we had them at 16 and 14.
100%.
They look better than the Vikings.
Yep.
So now we're on to 20. I do like that yours says who cares.
Yes, who cares past this point? It's like we're at the listing where it's like, okay, all of these teams just should be scrapping the playbook, working to the next year.
For me, I put the Vikings. Scrapping for next year is absolutely right. You just lost TJ Hawkinson for the year. Jordan Addison's hurt. You don't have a quarterback. It's Nick Mullins or Josh Dobbs. Justin Jefferson's back.
Yep.
Just say that injury's lingering and shut him down for the season. Yep. Let your rookies get a shot. Figure it out. Ty Chandler's finding his identity. He's going to replace Addison. Great. Start over next year fresh.
True.
Don't risk any big injuries for anybody else.
This is true.
So, who do you have?
20. I have the Falcons here. Falcons, like we said, pretty fresh stream. Kind of fits in the same leg as the Texans as freshness goes. But not the success. So this is why they're kind of in the middle, lower half for injured, for the injury bug. That's kind of my explanation for 20 for him.
Perfect. And that lines up with 20 for the NFL, who also has the Falcons. Yeah. I have them a bit lower because I think they should fire Arthur Smith, but
nice.
Throw the ball to Drake London and throw the ball to Kyle Pitts.
True.
Please. 21 for me is the Bengals, and oh, the mighty have fallen. Yeah. This is where we end up.
Nuts. You have Bengals this low. Sheesh.
I have Bengals this low because they're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to win a Super Bowl. If they make the playoffs, they shouldn't do well.
Looking at both of our lists, we kind of have Bengals and Jags in different legs here. Yeah,
we literally flipped the Bengals and the Jaguars where they're at. I just think the Bengals have a chance. With no Joe Burrow, don't get me wrong, I don't hate Jake Browning. I just don't think he's the answer.
I can see that.
21 is the Raiders for the NFL. Yep. Sure.
Nice.
I think they should be higher because they beat the Chiefs, but that's why I put them higher. But I don't. Same thing. Plan for next year.
And me,
right?
True. And me, the Raiders fan, have the Raiders all the way down at 22 here. Well, like I said, we're in a rebuild right now. We're hurt too. Don't have a QB, have weak offensive scheme, have pretty much no way to actually move the ball once we have it. All of our talent is pretty much on the defense right now for pick sixes go. I mean, that's how we won this last game and the last couple that we have won. Has all been defense. So with only one half of the team working, it's not a good look.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't dislike that that's the spot. I just had them higher because they beat the Chiefs. Yeah. Sorry, you beat a team that the NFL has listed in the top 10.
True.
You go up spot.
True.
22 for me is the Saints. This is because I don't know where to put the NFC South teams. In fact, they all kind of clump together here.
Yeah.
Except for the Panthers. And the Bucks took off, but if the Bucks had played like they had the previous month, they're in the same spot. Yeah. I just don't have a good idea for where to put them. This is a run first team, which is fine. Tyler, I can't remember his name, Algiers, and oh my goodness, Bijan Robinson. Mm-hmm. Both look fine. Like, they're both good running backs. They're going to do well for this team. You have your receiver in Drake London. You have Kyle Pitts. You need a quarterback. That's just how it has to be.
True.
I mean, there's not a whole lot to hate about this team, but they also don't have a whole lot to like. It's just right in the
Yeah,
middle.
I can see that.
20 and then 22 for the NFL is the
Broncos, yeah.
Broncos, which
That's kind
is
of nuts.
insanely
Yeah, that's
low.
kind of nuts.
That is nuts. This is if the Broncos can move this far
Mhm.
on a win-loss basis, why can't the
Yeah,
Chiefs?
I completely agree.
So, and we're looking at 23.
23.
Oh, I had them flipped. I said the Saints, but I was talking about
Yeah.
the Falcons. I'll talk about the Saints here because they're
Yep.
interchangeable.
I put the Saints here for my 23, so go ahead.
Yeah, they don't look terrible. They just don't look
Mhm.
great. It's a 50-50 shot if Derek Carr is going to make his pass or completely overthrow
Just
the
like
guy.
his whole
Outside of
career has been.
Yeah, outside of Chris Olave, the receivers downfield are mid.
Yeah.
Juwan Johnson is fine. Taysom Hill is fine. There's just a lack of talent with Michael Thomas out,
Mhm.
and Alvin Kamara is fine as a running back.
Yeah.
But you can't just run the ball every time. So, and your defense is letting up too many points for you guys to stay in
True.
games.
True.
I don't have really a better answer than that. And guess what? All three of us, with me putting the Saints at 23, agree.
Yep.
So, how did I agree this close with the NFL? I thought I was going to be so far off because now we're on to 24. 24 is the Bears.
Wow. Okay.
DJ Moore got
Mhm.
hurt. I don't know. I just don't have a solid reason as to say why
The Bears was here. Yeah,
there's not a reason to argue that they're lower, and there's definitely reasons to argue why they're not higher.
Yeah.
Justin Fields has got 200 yards of offense, most of it with his legs. They're running the ball. It's
True.
fire Matt Eberflus. Get someone with a creative mind in there. Let's figure it
Yeah,
out.
I agree.
He has too much run talent on the field to be stuck in this spot. You should have teams respecting Justin Fields like Lamar Jackson, even though they're nowhere near the same talent passing
I
wise.
agree. I agree with that.
So that's my 2 cents about it. You have a different
I
24.
do have a different
I think your 24 is a bit high, but that's fine.
My 24 here, I have the Jets. Have not lost complete faith in them yet. I'm one of those, Jet bandwagoners, but I have them, so low. It's just one of those teams you can't really account for. It's like, okay, is the defense going to pop off and just randomly get a win here? I think their random wins will stack up to, I'd say, like this bottom third's win potential.
Yeah. And I don't know if you saw, but they finally shut down Aaron Rodgers for the season.
Oh, they did?
They put it to rest.
Sure enough.
They did. They said him coming back off of IR was part of his recovery process so he can do certain things during practice.
Oh, my goodness.
He is not going to be playing in the actual game this season.
This guy. Oh, yeah, my PT says I need to be back on the roster, so...
This is the same kind of energy that I feel like Brian Scalabrine does when they talk about anything. He's going to point at this season and be like, see, I came off IR right before week 17.
I snapped my leg in
back.
half. Yeah, dude. Some idiotic stuff like this, dude.
I would have been league MVP off of one game.
Exactly.
Throw football over that there mountain.
100% has that energy.
All right, so we're on to 25. Mm-hmm. I have the Giants here. They benched Tommy DeVito, which means that runs over. I've seen people compare it to Linsanity. I think that fits perfect. Our Cinderella time has come and gone, but he's going to hang around the league for a while now because he proved that he can play.
Yeah, this is true.
I don't have a better answer for when Danny Dimes comes back if this team's going to look better.
It won't.
It's hit or miss.
I can guarantee it.
The pieces are there.
I can guarantee you it won't.
Yeah, the pieces are there.
Danny Dimes is not a good QB. I'm so confident in that to say that he's even worse than Justin Herbert. Come on now. Worse than Trevor Lawrence. Worse than Burrow. Worse than the whole class, So.
All right. You have a choice 3 quarterbacks available. Desmond Ridder, Taylor Heineke, Danny Dimes. Who we going
Oh
with?
gosh. I'm going Heineke, right?
That's fine. I would say that's an okay
Yeah.
choice. Like, there's not a right
Yeah.
answer. It's just which one are you
Yeah.
taking?
I mean, I would feel the less bad about losing on that one than the rest of them.
So I have him at 25.
Nice.
Who do you have at
25. I
25?
got the Titans here. Offensive game and play call has been kind of shaping up. Gave Seahawks a run for their money, who we put up here. At least I put them up here at 15. You put them at 11. So giving good teams a run for
Yeah.
their money, even this late in this hurt. That's why I like them.
Yeah. 25 for the NFL is the Jets.
Nice.
Sure. I mean, we've talked about them. Well,
So you're
I
not too
haven't.
far off.
You have. Yeah, I think you have them at 24.
Yeah.
NFL has them at 25, and I have them at 26.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Now we've gone from the middle of the pack where you could say any of these teams fit because they're mid to what is the garbage chunk of the NFL.
Yeah, what's
like,
really
oh
making these teams bad, Yeah.
Who's won more? Who looks better right now?
Yeah.
Who, if was on, would I actually click to their game? And the Jets lead that division.
100%.
Or lead that group for me.
Yeah, same.
You have the Bears at 26.
Yep, Bears. I mean, all the same points, just a team that has had a rough roll this season. I completely agree with your point about Justin Fields, should have an argument for being an equally threatening QB as Lamar Jackson.
Just not with the arm accuracy.
Just not with the arm accuracy. His ability to run off the corner, get the edge, and pick up at least 10 yards is insane. And do it staying healthy, He was looking like a faster Russell Wilson out there,
Right. And I think that's kind of a fair comparison to say is that he's kind of like Russ, and he can move with his legs, but then he can throw the ball far. It's just not accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. I missed the 26 for the NFL. It's 26 for the NFL as the Titans.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
I have them at 27.
Okay, yeah, they have my Jets and Titans just switched as well.
Yeah, it works fine for me. I think Will Levis, it was a good move to bench Tannehill to let Will Levis get some playing time to see if you even want to stick with him. I think he's proven that he can be a good quarterback.
Yeah.
But the moment you made that choice, everybody knew.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're phoning it in.
Mm-hmm.
Teams are going to call around the trade deadline. We're going to sell players for picks, and that's where we're at.
True.
You kind of have the...
I have to add something. I just realized I forgot
so
this game. Yeah.
You're doing the Giants at 27?
Yeah, I'll do the Giants at 27.
Fair. I mean, same point. They're just stuck. They got stuck here. Brian Daboll came in and for one season gave you guys hope.
Yep.
Didn't fix the team. He just made them play well and that just, after a certain amount of point, when enough game film comes out, everybody kind of figures out the plan.
Yep.
So that's where you're at.
True.
27 for the NFL is the Chargers. I think that's way too high.
Way too high.
This is a team that at this point, shut it down. Your number one receiver is Josh Palmer.
Yeah.
They
shut it down. No doubt.
Put Joshua Kelly in at running back. Put all your rookies in. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to lose games?
Yeah.
You're not making the playoffs.
Exactly.
You're already eliminated.
You're giving them experience.
Whatever. You're not getting the number one pick.
Mm-hmm.
So that you literally have nothing to gain and nothing to lose with this spot.
Yep.
A possibility of getting a higher draft pick? I don't know. I don't think you're really losing more games than the Cardinals or the Panthers. The Commanders even give you a run for your money, and so do the Patriots. So you might as well just... What's worse, you win? Cool. Start your rookies.
True. I completely agree with that. That's where the ratings went right halfway through the season.
Right.
Yep.
So you and I, all three of us are different at 28. So we'll go with the NFL because we've already talked about them. It's the Giants.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Fits right there.
Fits right there.
So I went Patriots.
Wow. Okay.
All because they benched Mac Jones and went with Bailey Zappi. I think they should have done this a while ago. They both are struggling, but at least Bailey Zappi, what does he lose? He goes back to the bench?
True.
Give him a shot. I also love that this is the time of year where we get to watch the Patriots ruin seasons for everybody else because this is a reminiscent of seasons of old.
Yep.
However, the big difference is that now the Patriots are doing it because they're an awful team, ruining the records of other teams, not because they're winning, eliminating other people's chances of getting in.
Nuts.
The Patriots took the Broncos' chances of making the playoffs and cut it from 43% to 4% by beating them this last week.
Yeah. Brutal.
So
brutal.
I'm here for it. I want to watch them ruin seasons because this is exactly how the Lions were last year when they stole it from the Packers. I am all for this energy. Send them all to Cancun early.
Jeez.
All right. What about you for 28?
For 28, I went with the Cardinals, okay? And here is why. They do well on bad matchups. They do good against bad teams. I would still say Cardinals do good against the Bears. I would say Cardinals do good against the Giants. And would do good against all the other teams that are lower here on the roster. Chargers, let's take it for the NFL rankings. I think they would do better than the Chargers. I think they would do better than the Patriots. I think they just kind of ball out against bad teams.
And the Cardinals have enough gas in the tank to get it through like 3.5 quarters, and then they fall short.
Yeah.
They make it fun. Like, they have a decent enough team. I still think they're lacking in the receiver category.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray and James Conner are doing everything that they can.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't forget that one of the Cardinals' wins is against the Cowboys.
True. No, honestly, I'm saying the Cardinals is like a poor man's Bills. You know?
Yeah, I think they could get there. Their coach is building the right community and right kind of like culture there in this for the Cardinals. I just think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Which fits for me because I have the Cardinals at 29. I would love to have put them over the Patriots and the Titans, but they just don't look as good.
Yeah.
Plus, the resurgence of Ezekiel Elliott for the Patriots has made me happy.
True.
Because there's just something satisfying like watching Derrick Henry and the Ezekiel Elliott's of the league run. Just a big man runs the ball and just runs people over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, test of pure strength.
Yep.
Love it. NFL's 28 is the Giants.
Yep. Lower than both of ours, but
yeah.
I think I just give it a little bit of Italian love. That's all.
Yeah.
That's it.
29, we'll start with the NFL. They have the Patriots.
Nice.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, at this point, you could make the argument for any of these spots, for any of these teams. My 29 is the Cardinals. We've talked about it. Yep. I just don't have them at 28 because I like watching the Patriots ruin people's seasons.
Jeez.
Yeah.
My 29 was the Commanders. I'd say they look better than all the other teams that are below them here. Not good, not bad. Good QB, terrible coach. Fire Riverboat Ron. Get him out of there.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about these teams looking at the rest of this list. 30 is the Cardinals for the NFL. We've talked about it.
Yep.
My 30 is Washington.
Nice.
Yeah. Fire Ron Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else you need to do. There's a lot. And stop selling your star players. Like, trading Chase Young to the Niners was insane. Montez Sweat, fine. But Chase Young, I think, is still on his rookie contract. That was a pretty big loss.
True.
That you guys took. Your 30 is the Panthers?
Yep, all pretty interchangeable.
Yeah, they also need to figure it out.
Yep.
Our 31s is great, but it's the Chargers.
Yeah, where they deserve to be. Exactly right.
You get hurt, perish in the power rankings. Epitomizes it perfectly. Like, their starting offense is done.
Terrible.
You get to hang out here. 31 for the NFL is the Commanders. 32 for myself in the NFL is the Panthers.
Nice.
Sure.
32 is Patriots, where they shall remain.
Yeah, I think there's some bias on that one, but that's okay.
I don't like them. I don't like where they come from. I just I got a real sour way about them. That's about my explanation for the Patriots.
You as a Raiders fan,
yes,
sour about the.
Yes, I will remain sour to the day I die. Till the day I die. Patriots, I'm so glad to see them in a 32 rank. even if it's my own ranking.
Well, I mean, if you look at the rest of the list, we're not really far off from
No.
where everybody else kind of stands. We had a couple that we moved around.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs, I think that's biased both ways.
Mm-hmm.
We really want to watch them fall. They don't want him to. The NFL doesn't want them to fall.
True.
Fine. Everything else kind of similar.
Yeah.
Don't hate any of the lists.
Mm-hmm.
So, you ready to move on to some game picks?
Yeah, let's do them.
All right. So first one is Jets at Browns.
Nice. Jets at
Joe
Browns.
Flacco does it again, right?
Oh yeah, Joe Flacco does it
Yeah.
again. No doubt.
The Browns. As much as I would like to see the Jets win here,
It's gonna be a big defensive game. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, it's not even that. It's a revenge game because the Jets let him go. Oh man, I hate that. I hate that. Ugh.
Yep, it's gonna be all over the place. They're gonna be having this big old crimson chin plastered on the freaking billboards, you know.
Next one, Cowboys at Lions.
Oh,
now, yeah, and they actually have the Cowboys favored pretty heavily to win here. But my argument is that they've been struggling against the run, and the Lions love to run.
I mean, they didn't do too bad stopping the run with the Dolphins, you know.
I thought they did well.
They just did normal, you know. And it's not like a big run got away. It was their passes.
I still think it's the Lions. I guess the real question is, do you really want to go the Cowboys?
You're right. Yeah, let's go Lions.
Let's go Lions. That's right.
Yeah, why not?
Hey, they locked in that playoff spot and they're ready to show everybody.
True.
Give Dallas a taste of what's coming.
Golly. Even though I do have the Cowboys higher on my list over here, you know.
Yeah, you're the only one.
I am the only one. I am the only one, and I'm man, if they win this week.
And you might be right. We might be coming back next week, and I'll say, all right.
I have a whole lot of those on here.
I forgot in the last podcast I told Ian I would be sorry if we went that the Vikings won. I'm glad I don't have to be sorry to him.
This is true.
So the next game is the 49ers at the Commanders.
Okay, Niners smoking.
That's a freebie. Yeah. Cardinals at the Eagles. I think that's another freebie. I think it'll be an entertaining game, but
Eagles got to prove himself. If they can't go against Mr. Bang Up bad teams.
If we lose money because of the Eagles deserve to lose the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Falcons at Bears.
Ooh, Falcons at Bears, eh?
Yeah.
I think I got to go Falcons.
I think so too. I think they just run the ball and they just eat up all that clock and they force Justin Fields to throw. And I don't know if DJ Moore, he tried to come back on that ankle that's hurt. I don't know if he actually is able to continue with it or if it's a lingering injury. So we're going to see some drop off.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yep.
Next is the Dolphins at Ravens.
Ooh. Sheesh.
I think the Ravens are on a bit of a heater, and I would love to see Miami win, but
the Ravens on this one.
And also, Miami clinched the playoff spot, and I don't think they can clinch the first round bye. So we might even see them like rest players.
Yeah, that's true.
So we got Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Next one is Patriots at Bills. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but Bill Belichick has always had Buffalo's number. Has always had any coach in their division's number.
Really?
I don't know what he does. Yeah. Miami gets one over on him every now and then, and so do the Bills. But he just always schemes. And so...
And as we have pointed out, Patriots are looking at taking out some more ankles this season for playoffs.
And it could be the Bills. They haven't locked in a playoff spot yet. So this is the kind of game that you get hyped up for as a team that's not making it.
Oh, man.
The odds are crazily in favor of the Bills, but I wouldn't hate taking the Patriots here.
Oh, man. That's just too risky. Come on.
That's too risky. All right, we can take Bills. We can log it in. I mean, of course, it's probably what's gonna happen, but I would love to see I'd love to see a Patriots upset here.
Man.
So next we have Saints at Buccaneers. We have a division game.
Okay.
I think it's the Bucs based on the fact that Baker Mayfield's having a stellar campaign right now.
This all being said, I think this is where I redeem my one and only Derek Carr chip of faith in this game right here. He does well in these close matchups, likes to make it extremely competitive, and typically gets the edge.
Okay.
So I got to go Saints on this one.
We can do it. The payout's a little bit better, and I think it's going to be a close game either way. I think Baker Mayfield still looks outstanding, but I could see Derek Carr having one of those games that he's owed one too.
He is owed one. This is where I think we find
where he
it.
just comes out and looks insane.
Yep.
Or he goes down in the first quarter and Famous Jameis comes in.
True.
Famous Jameis loves to eat up division rivals.
Loves to eat up W's, dude. Come on. We know this.
So next one is Panthers at Jaguars. This is a bounce back game for the Jags where they just beat up on a team.
Yeah.
They're due one, and the Panthers unfortunately get to be the punching bag of the NFL this season.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. Next one is Rams at Giants.
Okay, Rams.
It's the Rams, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have more talent, and the Giants are struggling. Just they're eliminated, so they really don't have a reason to keep playing. So we'll see.
Yep.
Raiders at Colts. Raiders are not eliminated from playoffs, but they have to win out, and the Chiefs need to lose out. So,
and
this is a Colts team that struggled, right?
Okay.
Like we can agree that they struggled last week. Do we think the Raiders keep the streak going? They're 2 wins in a row right now.
Gosh. They did lose to the Vikings the other week, though.
Yeah, but after putting up 0 points against the Vikings, they've done 63 and 30? Like they're like 94 points for the 2 weeks.
This is true.
It's insane.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see. We'll see Raiders defense take advantage of their offense. We just gotta hope they don't run it.
If you get the Derek Carr card, I'm gonna pull up for the Raiders here and say it's a streak.
Okay.
It's gonna run.
Yeah. All right, I'll take it.
We get the Hurt Bowl next. It's the Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans.
Oh gosh. I think
I think it's the Texans because CJ Stroud is really only in concussion protocol, so he could come back this week.
Ooh. I'm doing well to go Texans. You know me. I got them as a little pocket warmer right here.
Next one is the Steelers at the Seahawks.
Ooh.
Who was right?
Gosh.
I mean, I think it's the Seahawks. I think talent-wise, they just are better. But there's not a lot Steelers. Right now. I was going to say, there's not a lot on Mason Rudolph this season.
They shut down their secondary, dude. There's no way. They shut it down. Pete Carroll won't even know what play to call.
Yeah. All right. I'm fine with that. I'm fine. That's coin flip one. I'm fine going the Steelers. I think this one's it's not a freebie because the Chiefs have looked terrible. It's the Bengals at the Chiefs.
Ooh.
Oh, that's right.
I'll go Bengals.
I mean, fuck it. We ball.
I got them higher on my list. For a reason.
That's true. All right. Next one is Chargers at Broncos. The Broncos. I'm sorry. I can't pick 31 on the power rankings list. I just can't. They look so bad.
Yeah, there's no way.
They look so bad.
Terrible.
Like, the reason their last game was even remotely close was a garbage time touchdown.
Yeah,
it looked bad.
The only reason they're not number 32 on my list is because I hate the Patriots and Belichick. If there was an open spot in my heart for them, they would be in 32. But there's just not.
And then, we don't get a Monday night game. Okay. Oh, because it's New Year's. Duh.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Never mind.
I mean, they play on Christmas,
Yeah. But New Year's Eve is where they get the game. It's Packers at Vikings.
Okay.
Packers. I don't understand how the Vikings are favored to win here. That's just...
The Vikings are favored to win?
Yeah. I don't understand. Like, what am I missing about the NFL?
The NFL did rank Packers lower than Vikings.
But what am I missing in these NFL games that I'm watching?
I don't know.
Where the Packers, with hardly any injury,
I put them higher too.
Struggling. Yeah. So, okay.
I'll go Packers. You know me.
So our picks were this week are the Browns, Lions, Niners, Eagles, Falcons, Ravens, Bills, Saints, Jaguars, Rams, Raiders, Texans, Steelers, Bengals, Broncos, Packers. I think that's a fine set of picks.
Yeah.
We'll see how it looks when we come back at next week after these games.
Yep.
$1 pays out 8,500.
8,500.
Yeah, we took the odds against a few favorites here.
True. Kansas City.
Packers
Saints.
was one. We're odds to lose. Bengals were odds to lose. Steelers were odds to lose to the Seahawks. Raiders were odds to lose to the Colts. There was a big one. Saints were odds to lose to the Bucks. And Falcons odds to lose to the Bears.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, and Lions were odds favors to lose to the Cowboys.
Oh, yes.
Pretty, I think it was I feel it. This week we're hitting.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
New Year miracle. We're getting money
on the spread.
It might not be on the game picks, but I'm making money this week. So you want to fire off some hot takes here? Or you want to talk fantasy or
yeah, let's do some fantasy and then we'll give a hot take.
All right. So fantasy did not go well for us this season.
Yes, unfortunately. You got your number 1 and number 2 seed talking here.
Yeah, number 1 and number 2 seed both got bounced in the semis.
In the first round.
We got a bye.
Round. We did have a bye.
Yeah, we got bounced in the semis. The last 2 positions, 5th and 6th, are now playing for first place because their team hit at the right time and ours fell short.
Gosh.
Like I said earlier, I had to start Joe Flacco as quarterback because I have Deshaun Watson, Joe Burrow, CJ Stroud, and Sam Howell.
Dude, this is all because I didn't set my lineup perfectly. My entire bench popped off too. That's the frustrating part, you know.
So I guess what I think would be fun is, who do you think for fantasy next year? Because we're in the playoffs now. It's the end of the fantasy season.
Yeah,
Who do you think is going to be the number 1 pick next year? Is it going to be Tyreek Hill or Christian McCaffrey?
Well, since it's a dynasty, a lot of these are going to be taken. So are we going to?
No. I just meant over
okay.
Going like next year. Like, who's going to be the most picked first overall?
Number 1 most picked overall is going to be CMC.
Yeah,
calling it an RB right now. Hard to find a solid RB. People are going to be desperate to pick him round 1.
Yeah, I could see that. I think it'll be close, but I could see CMC being the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
this all being said,
6.
Tyreek did pop off this year, you know.
Yeah, but for the wide receiver position, there's a big drop once you start to get out of the top tier, but you can still find consistent scoring players.
Yeah.
It is hard in the run game.
True.
Because there is 10 star running backs, and then the rest are touchdown dependent or between the numbers runners or change of pace runners or not used very efficiently or used as often, and so it's boom or bust weeks.
True.
And then they get hurt, and that's the other part, is once you get hurt and they start to go with committees, oh my goodness, it's game over.
True.
So Christian McCaffrey I agree, is going to be the top pick. Saquon's going to be a top pick. Derrick Henry's a top pick. Even though they probably some don't deserve it. I don't think Derrick
top pick. Derrick Henry's going to be a top 3.
Like top 3 rounds, or
he's going to be round.
I'm talking like, all right, if you're in a fantasy league and you can get Derrick Henry in the 3rd round, you do that. I think he goes earlier than that. I just think the running back
10 points a game, dude.
Yeah, but who do you?
Literally anyone.
But who has the bigger upside? Like the bigger, should be consistently having better games kind of thing.
What do you mean? Like that would be available?
Well, yeah. So if we're looking at the draft, and my choices are between Derrick Henry and Bijan Robinson.
Are you going Bijan Robinson?
But he had a bunch of zeros. Like he is on a team that is inconsistently playing him. Derrick Henry's getting the playing time. I guess what I'm asking is that, yeah, he didn't convert them into points this year, but he still got the touches and carries. It's kind of like a Najee Harris situation. Like he's consistently getting touches and carries.
Yeah.
Who would you pick above him? Who's getting more chances to score fantasy points?
I would obviously be looking at some of the RBs from Dolphins. Raheem Mostert did phenomenal.
Okay.
He might be getting traded. If he gets traded, probably going to be getting a lot of points wherever he goes.
Okay.
Akeem, J.K. Dobbins next season. Didn't do
If
it
he can
this
stay
year.
healthy.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
There's a
there's
lot,
always the
you know.
there's the staples of Saquon, Nick Chubb, Brees Hall.
Oh yeah. You got my Chargers guy, Eckler, right?
Ooh.
I would
Over Derrick Henry?
yeah, over Derrick Henry. That's what I'm saying,
That's a
dude.
tough
I'm
sell.
saying like round 3 or lower.
That is a very tough sell for me. So, which position do you think improves the most this next offseason?
I think tight end improves the most this offseason.
I was thinking that too. I think it has to be tight end.
Like it's like there's just been so much growth, so much explosive potential that has been seen this season alone. To where I think they start scheming a lot more around the position.
I was going to say tight end or quarterback, just because quarterback has had
Yeah,
such a drop off that there's only up from here.
that is true.
Like they can't be worse.
That is
This
true.
is a horrible year for quarterbacks. I mean, it's kind of hard to start with fantasy with the last week of fantasy playoffs,
Mhm.
but we'll definitely have to incorporate more of this into some of our off-pick
Yeah,
podcasts or summer podcasts and stuff like that. So
yeah,
we'll
exactly.
start to kind of dabble more into this as it goes on.
Mhm. Or hot
You
take.
want to hit a couple hot takes?
Yeah, dude, why not?
I don't remember what our hot takes were from last. Yeah, it's all right. I don't think any of them hit.
Yeah.
So
Sure enough.
let's see. All right. The running hot take still is that Ron Rivera gets fired.
Nice.
My hot take
Mhm.
this week is I think that I am validated in putting the Cowboys lower, saying that they are not that great, and the
Ooh.
fact that I've been picking fights with the Cowboys fans, and say that the Lions not only win but handedly win,
Okay.
and then it really exposes that their defense is getting hurt by the run game.
Okay.
And then a second one, let's see, what's a good one here?
You're doing 2 hot takes?
I'll do 2 hot takes.
Alright.
I think
I'm just gonna do 1.
the Patriots beat the Bills. I think that's a hot take here. I stand by this. I think it's close and it's an ugly win, but I think they win to end the season on a high
Okay.
that allows Bill Belichick to possibly come back for one more year. I don't think he should,
Yeah. Okay.
but I think that's my 2 hot takes.
I'd say my hot take here is that in the Bengals Chiefs lineup, I'm going to prove both you, Chris, and the NFL power ranking wrong in saying that Bengals are going to hand it to the Chiefs here this week, okay?
Ain't no way.
I think they're going to hand it.
I would love to see it. I would be so ecstatic, but there ain't no way.
It's going to happen. Everyone's going to be like, what's going on? And they're just going to have some more drama on the sideline. Andy Reid's going to be nudging some more people with the shoulder, He's going to be doing some more of that.
You think so?
I think so. That's my hot take.
All right. Well, we'll have to see if those hit. So we'd like to thank you all for tuning in for the Loose Balls podcast, and we will see you all in the next episode.
Till next time.
Later.